What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into another episode of Lock It In on the Rec Room Sports podcast. My name is Tanner Dawson. Of course, out here is none other than Mr. Scott Coe. Scott, what's up, dude?
It's been profitable the last 2 days. I'm hoping to keep it up. I went a little crazy this morning, but what the heck? What the heck? Get a little extra money. I'm going to throw it.
That's what this time of year is about, though. It's going a little crazy, put a little risk out there and all that. So, but that's just it's just how it goes. We do got some college basketball games going on right now already. We got football. Did you bet the Keene-Princeton game today?
No, I did not.
I have no idea who the hell Keene is, so I just thought it was funny.
Could be Keene State in New Hampshire.
Yeah. Or New Jersey, I think it is, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep. No.
It's some Northeast school, right? In the end.
Yep.
So. But no, we have more
Kentucky.
Yeah. We have more relevant game going on right now. Florida and Kentucky at Kentucky going on right now. Right now it's 26-31. You threw money on Kentucky right now. It's -2 for the first half. Still out there, looks like. So that should be a great matchup here to watch this morning yet, and kind of throw on a bet maybe around half. Because it looks like it's trending Kentucky 31-26 now. And we also have a little college football bowl game going on in the Bahamas. Buffalo and Liberty. Liberty's got their first their quarterback's playing this their first ever start in college football. So right now it's 6-0. It's a field goal game for this Buffalo Liberty game here. Buffalo has a few guys out as well, but it's not. I don't think it's as bad as Liberty. So, and we all know what Liberty was this year, very inconsistent. So, I liked Buffalo going into the game, and I think I like Buffalo even more now. So,
by the way, thanks Liberty. We were on you beginning of the season, and now we're totally off of you. So, thanks.
Oh yeah, no, I was totally off after their loss to Kent State. Yeah, after that game, I was like, nah, I'm out. So I bet against them. Western Kentucky, Jacksonville State. I believe that there's a couple other schools I threw it against them. So Liberty turned into somebody I bet on to somebody I bet against halfway through the season. So sometimes you got to make those adjustments. It sucks, but Liberty was good while it lasted. So
listen, Liberty's losses were our gains with Army and Navy this year. So thank you very much, Army and Navy. We really appreciate what you do for us.
Correct. I will say, if we had to commend a ceremony here, the group of teams that aren't, your top teams, your big name schools, I will say Army, Navy for sure. Tulane gets right in that title bank. Jacksonville State and Western Michigan. Western Kentucky. Sorry, Western Kentucky is. I would give those 5 schools my title for the year. So they were phenomenal in all their bets, and there was a lot of plus money bets on that Western Kentucky team. So I know we definitely won 3 or 4 games in the plus money world for that. So I can open this door to let the dog out, even though it's supposed to freaking ice out and all that. Hold on.
Okay. So just talking while Tanner lets the dog out. College hoops conference season is upon us. It starts today. So there's some really good matchups. So
started that thing Monday. What a disaster that's already been, man.
Well, the marquee matchups, Allen's Oklahoma Sooners against the Alabama Crimson Tide later on today. So
Oklahoma State, West Virginia coming off the big win in Allen Fieldhouse on Tuesday. -8.5 there for West Virginia's favorites. I think that's gonna be good. DePaul Villanova, Nova's favorite. UNC Notre Dame should be a good one. UNC coming off a loss as well. We can go down the way like Dayton, George, GW going at it. Wake Forest, North Carolina State, Georgia, Ole Miss, Georgia, who's been actually really good this pre-conference season, is not even favorites in the Ole Miss game. BCG Tech,
Yeah, I'll give you an underrated one. SMU Duke. SMU's been on
Yeah,
fire.
I was like, I thought that was today or tomorrow.
Yeah,
So,
it's today. So.
yeah, I like that one there. We have Arkansas playing today. We got Baylor, Iowa State.
Yeah.
Going at it, that's going to be a brutal UCLA, Nebraska. Nebraska are favorites in that matchup after UCLA beat Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Butler St. John's is going to be a good one. I mean,
Arkansas game will be really good. They're at Tennessee, who's number 1 in the country.
yeah.
So that's a really good game today. Calipari's at Arkansas. I think they're 11-2 right now or something like that. So
yeah, there, guys. I'm not even. I'm not even past the 1 o'clock hour. Okay, that's how good it is.
It's amazing today.
We have a lot of great games. A lot of great games.
Yeah,
going at today. It's just it's unreal. It's unreal.
Yeah, it is.
If we scroll down, we'll scroll down to a little bit tonight action here. Just to see what's out there. Utah, Texas Tech should be good. With that, San Francisco, WSU. I like San Francisco this year here, and they're the dogs here. Might throw a little bit down on the money line. Texas and A&M going at it tonight. For this matchups here, looks like A&M's favorite by 6. That's a big number for that matchup. Michigan, USC, Cal, Clemson, Gonzaga, LMU. Gonzaga should take care of business.
It's amazing how these conferences are starting. I mean, these conferences are loaded, completely loaded this year.
And I don't feel like there's one specific team that's just going to dominate their conference this year. No. I don't. I went through and I was trying to pick a couple last week, just see like who's going to own their conference and somebody we highlight. And I couldn't find a team.
I mean, everybody that's been on UConn the last couple of years, I think you can safely get off of them now because they're very inconsistent right now. I've watched them play numerous times being up here in the Northeast. So I don't think they're going to win the title this year. I think there's going to be 5 to 8 teams that are going to be in that title mix this year. UConn's going to be one of them, obviously, but I wouldn't put much money on UConn winning, if at all.
I wouldn't either. I really wouldn't. I would. They're going to get some. They're going to have some issues. So. Playing simple, guys. It's going to be interesting. So, but we'll come back to the college football slate here in a little bit. Here, let's hop into the NFL slate. Get it knocked out here. Cleveland, Baltimore today. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, both playoff incentive teams here. Baltimore needs to win the division, and Pittsburgh is still trying to survive on a 5 seed. If Baltimore does win, if not, then they have to win. If Cleveland surprises Baltimore, then Pittsburgh has to win the division. Pittsburgh has to win to keep the 5 seed, period. Because I know the Chargers can win and take that 5 spot and go to in Houston if that's the case. So let's talk a little here. Cleveland, Baltimore, huge spread here, minus 20.5 now. It's gone nothing but up. It was started around 18, 16, and it's nothing but climbed. To now 20.5. I haven't heard of any big injuries. We know. I don't think who's. It's not DRT, right? It's
Billy Zappi.
Zappy starting.
I know him.
Hey, yeah, we know. Hey, he plays like one good game, right? So maybe this is the good game for Cleveland here. Yeah. But they're going to Baltimore. Again, I anticipate the starters playing. If the Vegas lines are matching anything from what this says here, the starters should sit in the 4th, right? Yep. That's exactly what this line indicates. Does it happen? I don't know, man. 20.5 is a big number. Beating in your division team by 20.5 points going in the 4th quarter is wild. So I don't anticipate that being the case. I anticipate starters playing all the way through. But Scott, what's our take here for betting on this Cleveland-Baltimore game?
So number one, Cleveland beat Baltimore earlier in the year when Baltimore was having their difficulties. If you remember correctly, Pittsburgh was up by like 3 games, two or 3 games, and then Baltimore got on a winning streak. So can Cleveland cover? Yes. Will they cover? I'm not sure. Baltimore's just going to have their way, I think, in this game. I can't see Cleveland scoring more than 14 points, 10 to 14 points in this game if they do. If they do. So Jerome Ford is out today. So I don't know who's Deontay Foreman could be the guy running the ball for them today. I'm not sure who's running the ball for them.
I think it'd be Deontay Foreman. Yeah.
I think Njoku was banged up. I don't know if he's playing or not, but if he's not playing, then Jordan Akins is his fill-in. He had 6 for 48 last week. He could catch, he'd catch 5 to 7 balls. I think this is all Baltimore today. This is the way it's looking. 20.5 is a big number. But as I said at the beginning, Cleveland beat Baltimore beginning of the middle of the year. That was when Baltimore was struggling. Lamar's had 5 straight games of 2 passing touchdowns. I expect another big game from Lamar today, and I expect a big game from Derrick Henry. So the way I attacked this game, I didn't attack it by side. I didn't attack it by total. I did a 2-leg parlay. Lamar over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Ravens over 3.5 total touchdowns.
I like
so
that.
those two things will go hand in hand with each other. If Lamar throws 2 touchdowns, Derrick Henry's probably going to get probably a couple of touchdowns. So
I don't mind those anytime TD bets at all for today here. Look, I'd even throw maybe Judy in the mix as anytime TD because I don't think Baltimore gets completely shut down here. I do like the over 41.5.
Yep.
I think Baltimore's defense still gives up a couple. I think Baltimore, though, does score a good amount. I think they get close to 30. So you're talking, needing a touchdown and a field goal, right? 10 points from Cleveland, maybe even 3 field goals. Call it good to get that over there. So kind of all anticipates what you think. I think the halftime line, it's interesting. Minus 12.5. So do you trust Baltimore being up by 2 touchdowns to get that line?
Harbaugh is not a good coach with double-digit leads. He just does not cover games. He just takes the foot off the pedal or whatever. So I think the Ravens are going to start fast. So the 12.5 doesn't scare me a lot. It makes me nervous a little bit if Cleveland scores a touchdown quick. That Baltimore might not cover. It might be like a 17-7 halftime game.
Yeah.
So,
right. That's kind of what I think like more of a 10-point. Sounds realistic here with these teams here. So, but again,
the other thing to keep in mind in this game, Derrick Henry needs 1 touchdown to break the Ravens' rushing touchdown record held by Jamal Lewis. So I think Henry on an anytime touchdown to combine with Judy probably might be something that you could look at as well. So I definitely think getting in there once.
I like that here. Yeah, I'm taking a look at some of the trends here. I ain't worried about the money line for first half. But the Baltimore Ravens had hit the game total over in 13 of the last 22 games, which is kind of wild there. Yeah. But the Browns have only hit their team total 3 of their last 19. Team total. Like you're not even looking for the whole game between both teams.
I think it's 11.5 for Cleveland team total. Somewhere in that 10.5.
That's wild. And then Cleveland has only covered the first half spread 4 of their last 21 games.
Wow.
What? It's a first half. Normally these lines are like stay within 7, stay within 10.
This has 38-13 written all over it today.
Here's even a bigger line. Cleveland Browns have only covered the spread in 5 of the last 21 games.
I didn't realize it was this bad in Cleveland.
I knew it was rough, right? They're 2-8 in the last 10 here, so that means they've covered Pittsburgh. They covered Baltimore. That's the only 2 games since October 20th they've covered.
Yeah, the 24-19 in the snow was the Pittsburgh game.
Yeah.
The Baltimore game I can't remember.
So Baltimore was a 7-point. They were +7, right? And so they ended up winning that game that day. But you were talking like you're losing lines that were 5.5, 6.5, 6.5, a 10 against Cincinnati just a couple weeks ago, and they're not covering, and it's just I don't know, dude. This is wild.
They were very popular last week against Miami. And they only put up, I think they lost 20-3 or something like that.
Yeah, so, to a backup Tyler Huntley, who hadn't looked good all year long. He made Huntley look like he was back in Baltimore his first year.
Right? AFC Pro Bowl quarterback, Snoop Huntley. So, yeah, it's just, it was DTR, and DTR we know is awful.
Yeah, DTR.
Zappy could at least do something today against that Ravens secondary. Maybe he hits Judy. Maybe he hits Akins, and maybe it's Elijah Moore. So 20.5 is a lot, but this has like 38-17, 38-13 written all over it today.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I'm down for that here. Yeah. I like Derrick Henry's longest rush to be over 21.5. Yeah. I'd even take a Keaton Mitchell TD today as well. Rashad Bateman, I'll take a touchdown there.
The sneaky bet is Lamar usually hits Bateman one time deep.
Correct.
So the longest reception for Bateman might be in play as well today.
Correct.
To go after that. So, yeah.
Yeah, this game's wild there. But yeah, so definitely a few betting opportunities, guys. Make sure you guys go and grab those here as we set them. Let's look at the evening slate game today. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. Again, Cincinnati, huge day for them. They have to win just to keep alive in a playoff race here. They need a lot of help tomorrow. But so Cincinnati gets in the playoffs with the Miami loss, or the Cincinnati win, a Miami loss, and a Bronco loss.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're looking at here. So Cincinnati needs a little help there, but 2.5 favorites going into this game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers are fighting for possibly the division, possibly the 5 seed still, so they can't really rest anybody, and they're on a 3-game skid. So the last thing you want to do is look like Houston and go on a 4-game. I guess Houston probably isn't on a 4-game skid, but you don't want to look like Houston. You don't want to be on a 4-game skid going into the playoffs and the wild card round. So, what's your take here? 2.5 favorites.
So the last thing the Steelers want to see is Joe Burrow coming in, and there might not be any Chase Brown tonight. So if that's the case,
he was out working. He's going to be warming up. So he's working it out already this morning. They're warming up when they go work out and warm up. He is going to be at least in that manner. So keep an eye on the inactives and in the Twitter sphere, the X sphere, whatever you want to call it, because if he's working out, that's a better sign than what we were hearing all week long.
Right, we were hearing scary ankle injury, probably not playing at the beginning of the week, and now all of a sudden he's possibly playing. So I attacked this. I did a parlay on this game too. I couldn't find anything that I liked, just a single bet. So I went Burrow 300 plus yards. He needs 355 to get to 5,000, so he's going to be shooting for that. Burrow 3+ pass touchdowns. He's thrown for three touchdowns. I think 6 of the last 8 games or something. Pat Freiermuth, 30+ receiving yards. That's all he needs. And then the Bengals over 2.5 total touchdowns. So Burrow throws for 3. I'm cashing the over 2.5 as well on that. So it's a 4-leg parlay, but it's very doable. It's not something that's outrageous. It's plus 450. So it's a pretty good parlay, and they're very attainable, all 4 of those. So that's what I did with that today.
I don't mind those at all there. Some cool just some cool trends going on. Cincinnati has hit their first half money line 7 of the last 8 games, and right now it is at a nice minus 135. Very bettable to put in there. So that's something you might do as well. They've covered the last 7 of 8 games. They have an impressive half trends here. Cincinnati has covered the first half spread 13 of the last 21 games. That's a 15% ROI if you are betting correctly there. And they've Cincinnati set their game total over in 13 of their last 20, which is also a nice percentage there. So, meanwhile, Pittsburgh Steelers are a second half team. They hit their second half money line in 8 of the last 14, second half spread in 9 of the last 12. But outside of that, nothing too major for this game here. I mean, I think Pittsburgh they have to show up. It's just, I hate to say it to you, you can't lose to Cincinnati. You lost to a playoff number 2 seed Philadelphia. You lost to number 3 seed Baltimore, most likely, right? And you lost to the 1 seed the Chiefs. Okay, 3 playoff teams in a row. You can't lose to a potential wild card team. Okay,
right, exactly.
That'd be the worst thing to go into the season. The worst thing I think to go into the season with.
The one thing I will alert people to: George Pickens, his longest receptions, 28.5 yards. Every Russell Wilson stat, he's gone over that, and he's gone over it in 8 straight games.
Yes.
So Russ likes to take shots deep. I think Pickens is going to get a deep shot today.
And just with that Bengals secondary, he's going to take some shots, and they're going to go deep.
He is. So along with the Freiermuth over 30 yards, I would look at the Pickens over longest reception. I think it's 27.5, which it's been for 8 straight weeks, and he's hit it every week. So look at that.
Player props.
Or 28.5. It's something in that neighborhood.
Pickens. Longest reception, 27.5 on most, 28.5 as well. So right around that range.
Yep.
For that. So yeah, I'd go grab it. Pinnacle has to see that 25.5, which is wild. Yeah. That's pretty low. So that's a little lower, kind of anticipating. But yeah, I like that. I like that. Going to grab it there on the over, because he does chuck it downfield there for him.
The playoff picture is if the Steelers lose and the Chargers win, the Steelers are going to Baltimore in the first round. I don't think they want to see Baltimore again. So I think you're going to see the Steelers all out today to win that game. Tonight, actually. It's 8 p.m. Eastern time game. So
I think so as well. I like the Steelers covering the 2.5. Yep. I like the over in this game as well, 48.5. I think it touches 50. Between Burrow and what the Steelers need to do. We've seen the Bengals defense play a little better, but I'm not giving them too much credit since you played against Denver and you gave up 24 points there. You gave up 6 points to DTR on that one. You gave up 27 points to Tennessee, for God's sakes. You gave up 20 points to Dallas. No, I'm not giving you your defensive crown for just the points alone here, man. Like, not a chance. Russell Wilson should be able to at least put up 21 on you guys. So at least
Najee Harris had 6 catches last time they played. I don't think Najee Harris has had 6 catches in any game.
No, he doesn't. His receptions suck.
Yeah. So it was 44-38. That tells all you need to know. Cincinnati's not leaving anything on the table, and neither is Pittsburgh tonight. So a lot of points.
Give me that over, man. Give me that over all day long for this game. Yep. So I think, I'm kind of right there with you. I think it's going to be a nice little matchup, and a great Saturday night game to watch. Plain and simple, really will be.
This is the AFC North Saturday, so the ball goes up.
Legit.
So it's going to be a great Saturday night to watch a football game.
Right. So let's just touch base real quick here. We don't have to do nothing too fancy, but the CFP college football playoffs did happen this last week during New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Okay, look, I walked away pretty. I'm not sure about you there, Scott, but when Tuesday night, that Penn State Boise State game. Look, I get the whole like Genty and really liked Boise State the way they looked, but guys, if you took that -11.5 on Boise State, There was nothing pretty about that. There was nothing pretty about that line, period, because we hadn't seen Boise State. We saw Boise State play one team, right? And they lost. That was actually worth something. Early in the season, they lost. We hadn't seen them play an actual team outside of UNLV the rest of the year. Look, there was nothing to tell me that Penn State wasn't going to wallop them like they did, and that's why I took the 11.5. It was just the easy, or not minus 11.5. Was it plus or minus for Boise?
Plus 11.5 for Boise.
Plus 11.5, right? Yeah. No, but Penn State was going to have that team in the bag. They play in the better conference. They are the better team. It's something that the committee will have to do work on adjustments for on next year's CFP. But I mean, I feel like that was the biggest lock in the world on the CFP slate. It was I don't know. The Penn State game was it was easy. It was easy.
Yeah, the trend to me was this: Penn State played SMU and beat them pretty convincingly.
Yeah,
and SMU was really good this year. If you had a bye week, you were in a lot of trouble in this round. And sure enough, all the bye teams lost. I just don't think Boise State had enough in the trenches, and that's where I look when I bet. Who is better in the trenches, Penn State or Boise State? It was Penn State. They play in a grinder of a Big Ten schedule every week, all year long. So Boise State is a finesse team. Penn State is, I'm going to run it down your throat, and you try to stop it. And they could.
The pass rush for Boise State isn't the same as a Penn State pass rush.
It is not.
Big Ten. Okay, look. Again, Boise State had a hell of a season. They played well. Genty looked like Genty. Unfortunately, he coughed it up a couple times there, but I don't even think that was a huge deal in the end because I don't think they were scoring anyways. I think Penn State had a better deal, and I realized Franklin and everything about a big game. That wasn't a big game, guys. That wasn't a big game. That was just another game on the slate of the season, and I loved. I definitely popped. I think I ended up betting like 3 times on that game, and without just being not aware that I threw it down already a couple times. I ended up throwing it 3rd time. So, we walked away pretty on that game. I think Arizona State game. I anticipated that lull there, and luckily Arizona State came back and started covering. Debatable calls in the end, but for both teams. But I think having Arizona State cover, I felt like that was a pretty easy lock because you knew Texas is known to blow leads late. Look what they did against who was it, Arkansas? I want to say early in the year for Texas. They blew something in the second half. I think it was Arkansas and at Arkansas. So I didn't like that Texas team there. Ohio State I thought was a lock as well because you saw the way they came out and they looked good. Oregon had kind of a slow go towards the end of the season. It was just that trend there. I don't care about the bye too much, but like the trend of just Oregon kind of playing not really well. And I'm like, hey, Ohio State ever since that Michigan loss. That's like Notre Dame in their UI loss, or ULI, or whatever it is. UNI lost in the beginning of the second season, second game.
Week 2, yeah.
Hey, it's killer mentality now. That's killer mentality. On that one, the Notre Dame come out and played exactly how I wanted them to play. Yeah. Georgia struggled. You said there was both teams are missing some guys there on that game there, and it showed more on Georgia's side. Now, Georgia, we can talk about the sideline incident. That wasn't the game changer. I hate to break it to you. It was a news story because it's Georgia SEC, but it wasn't a game changer at all. That game was Notre Dame's to lose, and Notre Dame took care of it.
Yeah, again, Notre Dame Georgia was all about physicality, and Notre Dame brings it every play on defense. They bring it, and Georgia had no answer for it. At Notre Dame, Penn State's going to be an awesome game. It's going to be physical. It's going to be low scoring. Both teams can run the ball. Both teams don't want to pass the ball as much. So, but I like Notre Dame, as I told you before we went on. before bet was Notre Dame to win the whole thing, and they're still alive. And because of the teams they played and the way they dominated all year long, 30-point wins all year long, basically. So I like them. Oregon threw up the white flag at the beginning of the game. You're running the ball. You're down 17-0. You're running the ball. What are you doing, Dan Lanning? What are you doing? You have a quarterback that can throw the ball, but you're still running it. So Ohio State's nasty. They're the best team right now in the playoff, I think.
I'm right there with you there. I think Ohio State. I think you're going to see Ohio State there. I think you're going to see. I wouldn't be surprised on the Penn State or anything like that being there. I wouldn't be surprised Notre Dame's there. Yeah. I think we got now the official 4 teams in that should be there. And if we kind of look here a little bit at early lines, let me filter out these. So Thursday, next Thursday on the 9th, we got Notre Dame, Penn State. Going to be a hell of a matchup. This is going to be so much fun. Minus 1.5 right now for Notre Dame favorites. 45.5 for the over. 46.5 on the under. So that thing looks like it might be climbing. It looks like it's climbing. No, it's going down. It's going down. So
yeah, get it now. Get it.
This
now.
game here, man. I like both teams. I'm probably leaning Notre Dame in this one here from a betting standpoint, but I'm also probably leaning on that over. If that thing drops to 44, I'm slamming it. I'm slamming it.
I've talked about it before. I'll say it again. Look at the first quarter. This is a perfect in-game betting game again. Yes. Look at the first quarter. Notre Dame, Georgia was 0-0 after the first quarter. So you knew right there it was going to be a lower scoring game. And sure enough, I got it at in-game at 33.5 and it went 33. So I went under. So I was lucky to win that one. But again, I just think Notre Dame and Penn State bring physical toughness to the gridiron. And I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I really do. Yep. I lean toward Notre Dame in this game, but it wouldn't. Again, I'm with you. It would not shock me if Penn State beat Notre Dame.
It wouldn't. The winner of this game is not that team beat that. No, it's not. It's not at all. I would not be surprised for either one of these teams to walk out of that game probably battle bruised, but I wouldn't be surprised at all here. I like the betting opportunities here. We'll have to keep an eye out too. Half is 22.5 right now. I might hit that over there right now because I like this thing to be kicking off early in this matchup. You know.
Yep.
And then Friday, real quick, Ohio State, Texas. Ohio State's favored by 6, which I'm kind of okay with. I might throw that down since it's under 7. But 53.5 is your over under, which I agree with because Texas likes to pop out early. Ohio State will do their thing, and Texas will blow a second half lead. Again, 26.5 for the over under on the for the first half betting line too. But in any early betting indication for this?
I love Ohio State. I'm not impressed with Texas at all right now.
Yeah,
I just think they play a little scared or a little tentative in these games. And now you're playing an Ohio State team that's on a major roll. So I like Ohio State. I mean, I'm going to take Ohio State until they prove me wrong. So that Michigan loss was the best thing that could have possibly happened to them.
Yeah,
and it's strange to say, but it was. So I love Ohio State.
I'm kind of right there with you on all that there. So as we're speaking right now, I'm dropping a little bit of action there. I might as well.
And the other thing I'm going to tell you is if you think Ohio State's going to win the college football national championship, they're plus 115 right now to do it. Bet it now because if they beat Texas convincingly, that's going to minus money, and you're going to lose money. So if you're going to do it now. I'm going to do it right after the show. I'm putting some money down on Ohio State. I already Notre Dame. I'm going to put Ohio State money down too. So
Ohio State right now is plus 100 on DK.
Plus 100, plus money for a team that's looked like this in the first 2 games. So that's a good bet.
You know, and it doesn't hurt too either. Throw down Notre Dame's plus 380 on DK and Penn State's plus 500. So
absolutely,
I think I'm putting down all everything but Texas. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm not saying throw 100 down on it, throw 50 down on it, like I did with Notre Dame. I bet 100 for them to win the game against Georgia, and they did. $10, just $10.
$5-10, call it good.
Yeah.
Nothing major
Nope.
needed for these. So
Right.
for that game, but yeah, no, it's CFP was I think pretty good, and I didn't mind it at all. So not a bad slate, not a bad week for me, and I hope we can keep it going there. So, but yeah, it's a little early CFP talk here. Let's talk here a little bit back to college basketball here. We got a bunch of games going on right now. Kentucky is 52-42 on Florida right now, a half, and everything else is starting to kick off here. I mean, I guess we kind of already talked through some of these bets here that we like early in the game. So go check out the first half of the show. We won't get into too deep right now, but tomorrow's slate is another round of some nice games that we're going to have to really dig into. We do have an 11 a.m. start of Indiana and Penn State tomorrow. So we'll definitely be on.
What is this?
Just before then.
What is these 11 a.m. starts with college basketball? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I don't know, man. They don't like people sleeping in, apparently. So
I'll give you one bet I did today. Just St. Bonaventure -6.
I love St. Bon this year, man.
12-1 against the spread this year so far. St. Bonaventure, and the GM of that basketball program is Woj from ESPN.
Yeah, that's and they've shown such improvement on that one. So I love St. Bon. St. Bon this year is probably the one team that I am following for everybody. So
they're going to be the sneaky Sweet 16 team, possibly if they keep this up. That people are going to ride.
Hey, upset city. That's what we're about here, for sure. Let's pop into the NBA world. We do got a good slate today on the NBA, starting at 5. And there's some games I think are questionable on it. Obviously, we have to wait to hear the inactives and who's playing, who's not, right? But like right off the bat, the 5 p.m. game, Brooklyn, Philly -7.5. I love Brooklyn at +7.5. That's a lot of points. Brooklyn's playing a lot of these guys tough and tight, and like 7.5.
Sneaky trade. D'Angelo Russell going to Brooklyn from the Lakers. He's starting. He's playing over 30 minutes a game for Brooklyn. This is where he can shine, and I think that he makes that team very dangerous right now. So,
what did we see last year, or was it last year or 2 years ago when the Durant trade happened? We saw Bridges and Cam Johnson and all those guys have like a revitalized of even better career there with Brooklyn. So I kind of look at a similar deal with D'Lo in that same instance there. We got a hell of a scoring game coming up, and as well the Phoenix and Indy game today. Over under 234.5, 235. I think that thing goes. I think it soars to 240s at least in that game.
250 probably somewhere in there. I see 135, 125 type of game. So
right, and if you want to throw down a upset city bet there, go San Antonio +130 over Denver and in San Antonio. Right, I mean, Wembanyama plays were good there.
They just played last night in Denver, and San Antonio won, and Wemby was incredible. He was better than Jokic. So I love Wemby this year. I think Wemby could be most improved. I think he could be the scoring champ in the NBA this year. Pretty close to it.
He could. Another upset city bet that I wouldn't mind just dropping here is Utah +295 over Miami. It's a 7-game suspension for Jimmy. Not that Jimmy's playing, but that whole debacle. You'd even take the +9.5 if you want. But I think that Utah-Miami game's a lot closer than what the lines are stating here.
At Utah?
At Miami.
Oh, at Miami. Yeah, there's a lot of dissension in the Miami locker room right now. So I really seriously think that Utah can go in and win that game tonight. So.
And then, Tim, you kind of had a little criticize about last night, Atlanta and the Clippers going at it for the late game today. Atlanta's the dog in this game. Are we Kawhi returns, sounds like today, and minus 7.5 favorites for the clip.
Doesn't move the needle for me, Kawhi. He's not going to play 20, 25 minutes, first of all. First game back in over a year. So he's not going to move the needle. Secondly, the Clippers always start out really good, and then they start struggling halfway through the year. Until they show me something different, I'm going to go on that premise. They're going to finish in the 4th or 5th spot. They're not going to be in the play-in. They're going to be in the regular playoffs. But they always lose in the first round. That's the whole thing with the Clippers.
Right.
They have trouble getting out of that first round. And if they're in the 4-5 matchup, that could be Phoenix. That could be the Lakers. That could be Minnesota. It could be any of those teams. So it's going to be tough for the Clippers to get through. But for right now, Kawhi's return does not move the needle for me at all until he starts playing 40 minutes a night. So
I think it's overblown. I think it's overblown. So
I think it is too.
Because we saw it last year too, where he started the season and he played real. He played small minutes, and it's not the same. It's not the same. It really isn't. So that's an interesting slate there. And then let me pull up our guy at Norton's Bets, Eric Norton here. He did have a slate here for hockey today. He posted this about an hour ago. You can go and follow him at X at Norton's NORTONZ Bets BETZ. He has some pretty good hockey plays here, but he has Ovechkin anytime goal scorer. He has the over in the Montreal Colorado game at over 6.5 there. Marchenko anytime goal scorer. He has the Kings money line against Tampa Bay at minus 122. Byfield anytime goal scorer. He has Vegas at minus 1.5. Edmonton minus 175 on the money line, and then McDavid anytime goal scorer.
Those are good.
I don't hate them.
One tip: anybody that's playing the Bruins, fade the Bruins right now. They're terrible. They're awful.
They got Toronto today, and Bruins are dogs. So
Toronto's playing really well right now. Great goaltending. And Austin Matthews is the man up there right now. So
I'd throw in New Jersey for that minus 1.5 puck line there. They're going against as I say.
New Jersey's number 2 in the East, I think, right now. So they're playing really well as well. So
they're playing really well on that one too. So there's a good hockey slate today, good NBA slate today. I didn't follow what our guy Nick Botkins and Witt threw out on head kicks and haymakers at the Botkins show. But we got some fights later on this evening as well. So there's a load of things going on right now. And guys, guess what? It's January. That means we're less than 2 months away from baseball starting.
Oh God. Oh my God. Kansas City Royals, Milwaukee Brewers parlay. Make the playoffs. No.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, we can talk about as it gets closer. I love doing win totals.
Yeah. We'll look at some futures and stuff on the show as college football wraps up and the NFL gets closer to the Super Bowl here. We can start looking at some futures here on the MLB side of things here, man. And hockey and NBA will be rolling. Yeah, college basketball will be getting really interesting as well by then. So,
and the other sport I follow a lot is golf. So once the Masters gets closer around time baseball starts, I might throw in a couple of picks.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you got some golf here. Yeah. I'm down for that. So, but yeah, guys, that's we're gonna wrap it up here for the day here. We got a lot of sports going on, lots of bets out there. Hopefully we helped you make some decisions here. Follow us tomorrow. We'll be back about the 10:30, 11 o'clock central spot. We'll talk the NFL slate, of course. We'll talk some college basketball and probably a little basketball action. Hang on here. Alan did send. He's working today, but he did send some bets. So he likes Bengals minus 2.5. He likes Arkansas plus 12. He actually took Florida plus 3.5 against you.
Against me, yeah. I told him that Alabama, Oklahoma, the pick that he made.
Yep. Oklahoma plus 12.5.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like that one.
I don't know. Golden State money line and Portland plus 12. So he has some bets out there. He wanted me to shout out there.
Yep.
He also reported that Mike McCarthy likely to pursue the Bears head coaching job if let go from Dallas.
I think he's staying in Dallas.
Hey, it sounds like a Bears move, right? Like, hey, let's bring this guy in. Yeah, somebody's gonna work, I guess. Let's just throw darts.
When somebody told me Mike Vrabel was high on the Bears list, I said, "Ain't gonna happen. He's not going there."
So, no. But there's no way.
So it came out that Vrabel wants a good quarterback, good communication with ownership, and a good working relationship with the GM. He interviewed for the Jets yesterday.
Yeah, so not the Jets, so not the Bears.
If he's going to end anywhere, he's going to end up either in New England because there's huge talk about Mayo getting fired.
Yeah.
Or he's going to end up in like Jacksonville, someplace like that.
Well, who else out there right now with jobs out there?
New Orleans has an opening.
No.
Jets have an opening.
I think New Orleans might be your closest of actually having something in that. Jets for sure not.
Chicago has an opening.
Definitely not Chicago.
No.
I mean, if the Colts thing blows up, maybe the Colts.
If Cincinnati fires Zach Taylor.
Yeah, he won't get fired now. Since they're competing for a playoff spot.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but there's talk of that. I've heard talk of that going around.
I think if Week 18 wasn't a possible game of getting the playoffs, he probably would be on a hotter seat. But I think he saved himself. So I don't like.
If McCarthy leaves Dallas, I wonder if he would be an option there.
Gosh, man.
Arizona.
No, Arizona ain't doing nothing for that. We go West Coast. Nope, San Francisco's safe. The Chargers are safe. Rams are safe. Go
Seattle's safe. Yeah, so, nothing there. I don't think.
I mean, really, New Orleans. I think New Orleans might be the better fit for current openings.
He said he wants a quarterback. I don't know what he thinks about Derek Carr, but that's one of the criteria that he needs. He doesn't have one in New York, so I don't know why he would even interview with the Jets. But I mean, he wants a job. So, but I think New England's his best option if Mayo gets fired. I think Kraft would call him right away. So I don't think it would take long. So
I think he just needs a team that's gonna let him do what he should do. Period. So
and it won't be in Dallas because that would be the landing spot for him. He's got Dak. He's got a good offense.
I mean, hell, even like Miami, right? Don't go to Miami because you're not gonna be able to do what you want. If they fired Flores for speaking up, Vrabel will get canned in the first year.
Oh, so, no doubt.
You gotta have a
Plus, he has an affinity for New England, and I don't think Miami would like that. So, I think he loves New England. So,
I think that'd be funny though. They go to Miami.
Johnny Cruz would be happy.
Yeah. I'd be ecstatic. Still, firing Flores was the big mistake there. So they probably would, at least win in the cold. So, but all right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get out of here. We'll stop rambling. Check us out tomorrow. We'll be back here on the Rec Room Sports here, and we'll have some more bets to lock in. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow. We'll see you guys.
Bye.